John.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
top of something.
Hey, Sasha.
Florida thing or something? It's like all over.
That's it. Let's see if you can get Ed's eye. We good?
We all good?
Okay. All right, folks. Maybe we can start on the list and go right.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hey, Congressman Frank Wolf said a few months ago that one thing he hoped in a presidential candidate was that they be more Reagan-like. And he wanted to know, he would ask, what would you guys do? What would you do for religious freedom in other countries?
I would do very little in other countries other than trying to set an example in this country. We frequently, abuse civil liberties here, and we don't treat our people, put people in prison that shouldn't be, and for political reasons, different things. And then we go over and we preach to other countries. I don't think that's good. I would set the example here and urge them, but I don't feel like I have the authority to use funds or people's lives here in this country to go and tell other people what to do. I think you achieve more through persuasion than you do by either forcing yourself on another country. It would have to be through persuasion.
So the candidates and a lot of members have been outspoken about the Trayvon Martin case. Can I get your thoughts on it and stand your ground laws?
Well, I probably won't say anything too exciting or interesting because I think every day the facts are changing. So for me to speculate on exactly what's going on there.
What about the fact that people are outspoken about this issue before the facts are
I
out?
think it deserves attention. I have questions in my mind, but I haven't heard all the answers that are probably there. So for me to make an opinion, it's sort of like when we get asked questions like that, I think, I'm not the jury. I have to listen to the case before I decide, who's right and who's wrong. But I have to say personally, I have my concerns about it. It doesn't look like it's going to be a slam dunk for anybody, I guess. No, but I don't know enough to make a real serious comment on that.
Is there a point where you would consider perhaps withdrawing from the race in order to have unity around a front-running candidate? Is there any point where you would think that, or do you plan to go all the way?
I don't think about that because this is the way the government is always run, by unity. They talk about all the fighting going on, but unity is always there on foreign policy. You're not supposed to say anything invading countries. That's how we go to war. There's too much unity. And no, I think I want to debate as long as possible, as long as there's a primary, as long as there's not a candidate. I want to talk about the Fed. I want to talk about personal liberties. I want to talk about the war, and they're not talking about it. So unity is very secondary to debating issues in a serious way.
You're in it for the long run. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I've been in this business for a long time.
You've received a lot of support from college students, including here at the University of Maryland. Why do you think your message is resonating so well with younger voters?
I'm not absolutely positive, although I ask that question quite frequently. And the answers are varied, but generally they follow the theme that even in this crowd tonight, definitely they don't like the wars going on. They know it's a drain. They don't like the economic situation we're in because there's a lot of debt and no good jobs right now. I think they like my position that responsibility should fall on the individual, not on the government, how we should run our personal lives. And they like the economic message too. It's their money. They ought to get to spend it. They shouldn't have all these regulations and all the interference in the marketplace. So all of that. But I think it's the crisis that we're facing. People, the young people led the charge in being opposed to the war, but now 67% of the people say we ought to be out of Afghanistan. And in the last 4 years, 5 years now, everybody's recognized that we're in an economic crisis. This is something I've talked about for a long time.
Why do you think, you get these great crowds, I'm here late, but you get these great crowds, but it hasn't really translated into a lot of votes or a lot of delegates over the course of this campaign. Why do you think that is?
Well, we haven't counted all the votes yet because the delegate process is ongoing, and we have a lot of states that we might not have won, the straw vote, but we're going to see a lot of delegates come from this. But in the states where we were able to spend more time, we did quite well. You know, in the first 2 states, we spent a lot of time. So the message, they will respond. But if you compare that to, say, the votes in Florida, monetarily, it's pretty hard for me to compete in a state that is very, very big. So I think one thing that is noticeable is that young people are more energetic, and they have people notice them. And why we're not in first place, it just means that this message is not received by everybody. But those numbers are changing. It used to be only the young people that were responding, but tonight, if you look out there were a lot of people there that were not members of the college campus.
So Maryland is a state that's not very big. Do you think you can compete here better than you have elsewhere? And is this the extent of your campaign in Maryland? Do you do it back and forth?
I don't have my schedule in front of me, and I don't know if we have any things planned, so I don't have a good answer for that. We go to as many places as possible, but it's hard to be in every state enough time, so I don't have a final answer on whether there's going to be another visit or not.
If Mitt Romney wins the nomination fair and square after the convention, do you think your supporters, to what extent do your supporters will back you?
We'll ask it afterwards.
And Leslie, any comment on the Gingrich campaign's decision to sort of scale back, focus on the convention?
Well, you mean on whether or not he should scale back? What? Well, I think he should do what he wants to do. I don't give him advice. He doesn't give me any advice either. But other people say, the other people who are giving him advice, I would say that what right do they have to tell him what to do?
But no concern that it'll cut into your strategy in Tampa.
Strategy where?
In Tampa.
My strategy? Oh, I don't think so. It's not necessarily competition. Okay.
Congressman.
great.
All right, thanks, folks.
All right, thanks.